All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our NuWTR overview tonight. We're going to talk about something that I think is life-changing, and I'm saying that because it's been life-changing for me, and so I'm just going to let you take a peek into the future through my eyes that there's something really important here to share. So I want to invite you to sit back a little bit, relax, and enjoy the information, because there's a lot of information out there in the world, and we're constantly having to try to figure out how one thing compares to something else. And that's a struggle sometimes. And so we appreciate that, and we know it's a lot of information, but we think it's going to be helpful for you. If you do have background noise, I just want to ask that you mute your line. You can self-mute with Zoom. If you're on the phone, you can mute with Zoom. That will keep the call nice and pristine, just like the product we're going to talk about tonight, and that will help us all enjoy the call. So NuWTR fulvic-based minerals, fulvic-based health is amazing. It's a revolution in self-care. Is systemic nutrient delivery and cellular detoxification happening at the same time. And we're going to go through a little bit of information here. You know, there was a gentleman who said a number of years ago, about 2,500 years ago, that our food should be our medicine, and medicine should be our food. And sourcing of that medicine has become a little bit challenging in the world that we live in today. In fact, you might recognize some of these foods on the screen in front of you. This is the standard American diet. The good news is there's a whole lot of people waking up to what's going on with the food supply. But if we look at these foods, I think we'll pretty quickly recognize that they're processed foods, they're highly sugared foods, they're GMO ingredients in these kind of foods, there's hormones and antibiotics and fillers of all kinds. And I would have to say somewhat devoid of true nutrition. But they are packed with toxins and things like glyphosate that are actually damaging our gut health, you know, our microbiome, our immune system, our overall quality of life. And I think that where Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine," was when food actually meant something to us a number of years ago. And it's not that all food is that way. And I have to tell you that from my own personal experience, I just feel it's unfortunate that we have to work so hard to find the food that really is nourishing to our bodies. So I think our mission is pretty darn clear. Our mission as a company is to improve global health by providing science-based wellness and longevity products. And we focus on fulvic-based products. And you'll learn about why we focus on fulvic-based products here in just a minute. But if we can hit some of the big topics, the big things that most people are concerned about these days, how to reduce inflammation, reduce oxidative stress, detoxify the body, deliver nutrients to the cell, regulate your hormones, we've hit the big ones. And I think that you'll find that what we're going to present to you tonight is really spot on in trying to help bring that level of health to our body. These are the Visionaries, and you're going to meet them. Well, you've already met Carlo, the president of our company. Carlo Garibaldi opened the call this evening. Seasoned businessman. He's really at the helm of some of the business aspects of the company, and we're really grateful to have him on the team. And the man who kind of created this product, who's been passionate for over 30 years, as Brian mentioned, Mark St. Onge, who is the CEO and formulator. And we're going to hear from Mark a little bit later in the call, which I'm just so grateful that he's able to take the time to be on these calls on a fairly regular basis, because there's nothing like hearing the passion from the person who has been driving this for some time. And I have to say, it's great to see an audience start to show up to be able to shout from the mountaintop this information. I know that that's got to make Mark a very, very happy man. So we'll talk a little bit more about Mark in a moment. But I'd like to acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of toxicity happening in our world. It's in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, the ground that we walk on. I think we can all acknowledge that the toxicity is pretty much and virtually hard to avoid. And I don't think we can deny it either. So at this point in time, as we look at all the different ways that we're bringing the toxicity into our body, I think the compounding of that does become more and more problematic. In fact, statistics would suggest that it's not just a little problematic, it's a lot problematic. 76 chemicals linked to cancer in humans and animals, 94 chemicals that are toxic to the brain and the nervous system, chemicals that interfere with the hormone system, the endocrine system disruptors. Chemicals are associated with birth defects, abnormal development, reproductive health, immune health. I mean, we think about what we're bringing into our body and what that microbiome is doing. The microbiome is responsible for 90% of the serotonin produced for the brain. 70% of the immune function is coming from the gut. These are the kind of things that we really need to pay attention to. One of the biggest things that kind of hurts my heart a little bit is that when a baby comes into this world, they're already having an incredible amount of toxicity in those little bodies. In fact, an average sample would show 200 different chemicals and pollutants in the baby. So I think that those statistics would qualify as alarming, and I think that's a bit of a wake-up call that we need to be thinking about, you know, some of the things, some of the choices that we're making. In the 21st century, we're blessed to have many conveniences. We're blessed to have many different types of things that we've created, whether it's food or technologies or just all kind of different approaches to the world in which we live today. But the modern diet has not really served us super well. About 80% of our foods are acidic. If the food that we're putting in our body to nourish us is acidic, there's a good chance our body is acidic. Well, I can tell you this, the acidic body is a breeding ground for disease, and it does create nutritional deficiencies as well. So due to the use of things like pesticides and chemical fertilizers and hormones and antibiotics, and generally speaking, that's the way we produce so much of our food, I think we've got a little bit of a problem. And I would safely say that the food industry is not necessarily something that we can rely on. You know, the food industry is involved in profits. And I think there are conscious companies that are emerging on the planet that are doing a much, much better job. But, you know, profitability is still very high on their list. And so the world's health is in a bit of danger. We need a little bit of extra support. You know, if I were to look at some of the common imbalances that people are experiencing as a result of the toxicity, as a result of the types of choices that we make from time to time, and hopefully they're just time to time, if I were to say, well, what would be the group of things that people would talk about saying, well, I feel this and I feel that, I bet they'd be pretty common if we went from person to person. Fatigue, decreased libido, poor metabolism, weight gain, allergies, mood swings, depression, cancer, fibromyalgia, constipation, high blood pressure. The list kind of goes on, but there is a grouping of one that seems to be so common. So if they're common, what's something that we're doing in common that might be causing some of this? I know that some of us have those robust genes. It seems like we can do about anything and still be okay for a while. And there are others who are very sensitive and they take something in their body and their body talks to them right away. The bottom line is we all have systems, they respond individually, but there are some things that we can do globally that can have a benefit to everybody. So as we look at these ailments, they're not something we catch, they're something we develop over time by the choices that we make. And I just want to be the first to raise my hand and say, I don't live perfectly, I don't eat organic every single time or non-GMO every single time, but I'll tell you what, I make the best decisions I can, but what's important is that I have something to help navigate or mitigate some of those choices that I might make, as long as I keep them on the lower end of the percentage scale. So I think it's pretty proven that the toxicity we're living in is potent. Toxic soup, you might want to think of it that way. The environment is toxic. Our bodies have some toxicity that it could certainly be relieved of. Toxicity is related to disease because there comes a time when the tipping point occurs and the body says enough, and it's going to force you to make a decision. And we hope that that never happens for anybody on this call or anybody that we know, and we'd like to pass that blessing on through all of the world. But the bottom line is at some point the body starts to have a rebellion. And that's really what we're talking about, is trying to lessen either the impact of that or maybe not have it happen at all. So we need to rid the chemicals out of our body. Probably the sooner the better. I think most of us would say that. So if the food is our medicine, and we know that even if we get out of some of the processed foods, we're still relying on vegetation and things that are grown in the earth. Modern soils are depleted of minerals. I think that's a very well-known fact, pretty much all over. So probably if the vegetation is depleted of minerals, chances are your body is depleted of minerals as well. We're going to talk about fulvic minerals tonight. Very specifically, there's a reason for it, and there's a differentiator of this particular product than all the other things you hear about in the market. Fulvic minerals is an answer, and it's a powerful answer. And what's really driving this whole piece behind the mineral story is a gentleman by the name of Paulus Lining said many years ago, you can trace every sickness, every disease, every ailment to a mineral deficiency. Minerals are involved in virtually every system of the body, every interaction of the body. If we don't get the minerals in some form or fashion, our bodies start to break down and we start to move away from that place of balance we call homeostasis. And that's when our body is operating the best. So the source of our minerals, and we're going to fulvic minerals, come from a peat bog. And this may be new information for you, and you may be saying, what's peat bog? I remember peat moss. I used to put that in the backyard. Didn't smell very good, but it certainly helped things grow. Not entirely different, but obviously some differentiators. But a bog or a bogland is a wetland. It accumulates peat, and that's really the decomposition of plants and vegetation and herbs and things like that that happen over a period of time. And thousands of years this process can go on, and it's a humification process. It's the decomposition that is a humification process. And humic acid is very rich, it can be very rich in fulvic acid, and it has all the trace minerals and vitamins and some of the, what I like to call Mother Earth's superfood store. It is the original Mother Earth superstore, superfoods. So it's super, super powerful. And there's a story behind fulvic acid and its potency, because the story has been around for a while. Fulvic acid, and maybe we can get Mark to talk about this tonight, but back in 1954, there started a lot of research on fulvic acid, but different places on the planet had different concentrations. And we'll get Mark to share a little bit about that tonight, and I won't steal all of his thunder here, but I have to tell you, after searching a lot of sites up in Canada, he found the richest deposit of fulvic acid that's been found on the planet, to my knowledge, and it is potent, and it is ancient, and it is pristine, and it's in a product that's available to serve you, and it's going to be amazing. You're going to hear from Mark here in just a little bit. So as I look at this about the solutions for human performance, because I think we all would say, I'd like to perform my best. I would like to have vitality. I would like to be able to age well. I'd like to be a better athlete. I'd like to be able to think better and not have brain fog. But what is the solution for those levels of human performance? Well, it's a three-step process, really. I was told once upon a time, a gal by the name of Ann Wigmore said, if you want to be your own best healer, there's a couple things you need to do. You need to nourish the cells and to detoxify the body. So this is a key point to what we're going to talk about in terms of how fulvic acid actually works and fulvic minerals actually work. So detoxifying, repairing, and supporting, we're going to touch on each one of those very quickly. Detoxifying is really the support of the elimination of that garbage or of those toxins from the cell. Well, what systems are they in? Well, they're in the digestive system, they're in the circulatory system, they're in the urinary system, they're in the entire system. Humic fulvic acid is a catalyst to the body to help in those channels of elimination, the colon, the lymphatic system, the kidney, the liver, the lungs, etc., the organs of detoxification. These metabolic processes work more efficiently, they function better when they have the building blocks to be able to perform their task properly, okay? So some fulvic facts for you. Fulvic acid is one of the most effective carbon-containing chelating compounds known. Chelating means it can bind to the toxins and it can bring them out of the cell, and if it can bring them out of the cell, it can get them into the process of elimination in the body. They are a very small molecular size. They have a charge that makes them very powerful in that detoxification effort. But that small size is really powerful because not only can it take nutrients into the cell, and because of its small nanite size, it's able to take it into the cell and it's able to do that binding and take it out. It can carry as much as 60 times its weight in minerals and other nutrients into the cell and carry those toxins right back out. So what a great delivery boy or girl that actually is. Repairing is also very essential. Obviously, we want to provide the building blocks to the body. Why do we want to provide the building blocks? Because the body's primary directive is heal. That's what it wants to do. It's like if you want to go build a house, you want to do that, that's great. But if you don't have any building materials, you're not going to do super well. So that's what we do with the fulvic acid is we provide the building blocks so the body can do its particular miracle. So humic acid is very high in mineral content because that decomposition process is of lush and botanicals and herbs, and it's a whole food-based liquid solution containing all of the minerals, the trace minerals and vitamins. So it's powerful in what it can deliver. We provide not just the mechanism of delivery, but also the package and the parcel that we want to deliver inside the cell. So it's a wonderful way to get it into our body. If we look at the support process, what does that look like? Well, when we go to the gym and work out, we don't come home after that first workout and say, I'm all done. I got my workout in for life. My muscles are going to start to pop. You know, we don't eat once and say, I'm good for the rest of the day or the week or the year. But we have to continue to put this support in our body. So regular consumption of fulvic minerals is really important. There are no taste obstacles because a lot of people, when they're starting into regimes, they're drinking things or swallowing a lot of pills, they're going, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. It doesn't taste super good. And, you know, not that everything has to taste good if you're looking for the health benefits, but it doesn't hurt one bit, right? So this is a product where there's no sugar, there's no carbs, there's no calories, it's organic, it doesn't have GMOs or fillers or binders or excipients or artificial flavorings or pesticides or sweeteners. It just doesn't contain those things. So the supporting aspect here is supporting that nutrient delivery at a cellular level, detoxifying at a cellular level, and focusing on improving that microbiome, that gut health. Very, very important. It's liquid. It's highly absorbable, it's bioavailable, and it has an amazing impact. So I think the main 5 here that I would label out, Mark has passed this knowledge on down to me. He said, you know, the 5 core things, it's anti-inflammatory, it is cell regenerating, it's heavy metal binding, it's hormone regulating, and it's adaptogenic. And I love the aspect of adaptogens because we always are missing something. And the body is running around, it's like Peter robbing Paul all day long to make things whole. It causes what I call a health cascade. If one system is depleted, it's going to look to the other system saying, oh, I need that. So it grabs it from there, and then that system becomes a little depleted, and it goes to look for something else. And so this is the process that the body goes through. So the adaptogenic aspect is like filling in the potholes, smoothing out the road, stopping the cycle. And it's powerful at it. We have a professional product line. In fact, these are the 3 different ways that the product is delivered to us, either in a dropper bottle, individual sachets, or coffee. So you even can have your morning ritual, enjoy your coffee, and you can have your minerals and your fiber actually included in your coffee. The sachets are easy for traveling. I love the bottle of minerals the most. It's the easiest for me, but you can find what works best for you. So the blanket of benefits that we get to enjoy with the product are quite significant, whether it's increasing oxygenation up to 45%, balancing out that the hormones and increasing your metabolism, the trace mineral delivery, the digestive and immune support, the brain function, the regeneration of cells, the reduction of oxidative stress, or the fact that it's a product that you know is organic. It's from Mother Earth, it's from pristine, and we're going to have Mark talk a little bit about that. So I know Mark's with us on the call. This is what I call a man in the mud. He's been passionate about it almost since the day he was born. Some people come into this planet and there's just a mission. There's just something that they're supposed to do. And Mark has found that, and I'm really excited that he has, because now we're able to share some of that information through what he has brought to us. So with that, Mark, I'm glad you're here. I can see that you're unmuted. And Mark, as I mentioned, is the CEO. He is the formulator. He has over 89 products that he has brought to the market. Our story is focused on Fulvic. And that starts at a very young age when he jumped in the mud, but I'm not going to let him start at the age of 8. We're going to start a little further down the road. So Mark, I want to welcome you and have you tell a little about your story and why you're so passionate about this.
Thank you, John. There's nothing much else I can say. You know, it's aside from my personal story as an orthotherapist, treating musculoskeletal problems in Ottawa. We had a lot of people that had arthritis and rheumatism. And that was back in 1987. And I was always looking for ways to treat people naturally with natural remedies and in holistic ways, and looking at mindset and diet and nutrition. And I stumbled upon a black mud from Germany while traveling in the European countries. And I fell in love with the product, stayed there for a month, actually was trained by a few therapists, and I just fell in love with this black mud called Moor Mud. And they were putting people in mud baths and wrapping them up and stretching them, and I saw them roll in with wheelchairs and crutches, and a week later walk out detoxed and healthy. And so I brought it back to Canada and started putting mud in a Ziploc bag and giving that to my patients. And I said to myself, we have that same type of mud in Canada, because as I was young, 8 years old, I was hunting bullfrogs in the bog, knee deep, and I said, well, we got that same stuff. So I researched 63 bogs from Ontario and Quebec, and I stumbled upon a couple of them. One of them being in Casselman, Ontario, in the Moose Creek Bog, and it contained the highest levels of humic acid in the world. It had 36%, and the German mud was 11%. So I said to myself, let's talk to the Germans, see if they want to buy our mud. And sure enough, they started buying ours. And it gave me the opportunity to fund a company that I started back in 1994. And we warehoused and bought manufacturing machinery and started bottling mud. And that's where the Mud Man comes in, where, you know, we're bottling mud. And I was thought, you know, it's this crazy guy bottling mud in Casselman. And it became well known in Canada in the spa industry that there was this guy bottling mud. And you know, without being any pretentious, it gave me the marketing tool to get the people to know what Moor Mud is all about. So I built that company and sold it in 2012. And I said to myself, one day we need to drink this. This is an easier way to get that availability of what this mud can do. And now we have it in this presentation tonight. You all heard that we can actually do a lot of things with this product, and I'm very proud of that. And you know, we also have an NPN, which is Health Canada approved, and that took 25 years to get, and I'm pretty proud of that. It was like my life story. I've never quit, and I kept on going, and that's my passion. I want everyone in this world to at least taste the Fulvic and see what it can do for them. So this vehicle that we have now, and the people driving it, John, Brian, Carlo, and I, and everybody else that is on the call, we have the responsibility now that we know what this secret is all about to go out and tell the world. You're on mute.
Yeah, I see that. I have to ask a question before we shift gears here and kind of continue on down the stream. But, you know, one of the things that I certainly wondered when I first started talking to you about the product, and I'm sure there are people who are new to this tonight that might be thinking the same thing, you know, what's the difference? You know, how would you quantify the difference in how this functions in the body? And when people hear the story, oh yeah, I get my minerals, I go down to the health food store, I get my minerals, or I've heard about another type of fulvic minerals. I want to just create a little separation between what we're doing and what's happening in the marketplace. Can you enlighten us a little bit there?
Sure. The difference with different fulvics is that you have a peat source, which is ours, which is an organic source, and we call it whole foods because it comes from 1,500 plants. You can actually feed off a peat bog. So if you're lost in the forest, and always look for a peat bog, you can actually eat it and survive. You can also lay in it to heat up your body because it's thermal. So that is the sense of our peat. It's organic, it's 100% absorbable, and you need less. When you work with fulvics that has been fossilized, or like leonardites and shales and shellagets up to the Himalayas, They are inorganic. They became inorganic because they're now a mineral content. And mineral content is not absorbable by the body, so it's inorganic. It's hard to absorb. It also carries a lot higher heavy metal content, and you got to be careful because we don't want heavy metal in our body. So the difference is the bioavailability. It's a whole food, and we don't have a large process to make it available, and that's the difference.
Fantastic. Well, there's so much to know here, and we're not going to keep everybody on for 4 or 5 hours tonight. But Mark, thank you for that information, and you blessed us with some time and some clarity tonight. So I'm sure we'll be circling back around with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go back to sharing my screen here and continue on this story and just kind of round things out. And as we continue to share this information, I think just if we capture these, the points that we're really trying to elucidate on here tonight, mineral deficiency is a significant issue. And some would say the root of chronic disease and the root of all disease. But we have toxicity to deal with. We have the ability to increase our detoxification with some of the right decisions, restore our vitality, improve our quality of life, and create some financial abundance because we're with a direct selling company. And there's some real benefits to be had here with taking on this as a mission and a model. Luck is when opportunity knocks and you answer, and we want to give you the opportunity to answer that call tonight. So we're going to shift gears into a little bit of the business side of what we have to offer because we're excited about it. And we know when there's a good financial engine that helps to drive this, we can get the message out. And I'm really glad that Mark chose this method of distribution. It's all about the power of two. The innovation of NuWTR is the BEAT bonus, the BEAT program. It's an industry first. It's really exciting. It requires a bit of a new mindset. It's not the same old same. A new mindset is going to bring new results. And I'm really excited to get to be on the cutting edge of this story. Okay. So getting into profit is something that everybody wants to do when they get in business. It doesn't matter if it's your ground up business, a franchise, a network marketing company. Profitability is important if you're going to stay in business. Most people don't, that doesn't happen. I mean, a lot of people that go into business, I think if we were to ask the statistics about how many people want to be in business for themselves, many people would raise their hands. But on the success percentage, it can be pretty low. So the idea that we can break even very quickly in a business is a powerful concept. And one of the things that happened when I first got involved with NuWTR was talking to a gentleman by the name of Brian Smith. And Brian and I have constructed this incredible compensation model. And what happened is that Brian came up with an idea. And that idea was called the BEAT program. It's kind of like you're in the driver's seat. Let's get the obstacles out of the way. Let's get profitable, and then let's move on from there. So Brian, why don't you share a little bit about the concept of the BEAT program?
Well, I'd be happy to, John. And, I have always been an entrepreneur at heart. I've never worked for anybody. I've always owned my own businesses. And when I discovered the model of network marketing, it just made perfect sense to me. And I excelled because I had that certain type of a mentality, the ambition that was driving. But I noticed in the industry there was a breakdown because I would bring people in and that people would not duplicate the model. And this is all based on a system by which people can duplicate a system. And so I checked the statistics in the industry, and it was like the sponsoring recruiting average is typically 1.7%. I said, that is not creating duplication. There is the problem. So if I could solve this problem, I brought it to Mark and Carlo, and they were absolutely open arms, accepting the idea of the BEAT bonus. And I even came up with a great acronym for it: break, even, earn, profit. And so what it creates is it drives the behavior for people to incentivize finding those two people on this way, creating this system, duplicating and beeping, as John was illustrating in the next couple of slides. That is the genesis. That is the absolute, purpose of creating a duplicatable system, and we're calling it the BEAT bonus. We know it's going to create a big buzz when people understand what it does, how it drives the right behavior. It creates multiplication, duplication, and it's simple, and it rewards people, puts them into profit, which is the basic, quest of all business owners. So it really, I am thankful that you guys took this on, and we just know that it's going to really create an impact on the industry.
Well, Brian, it was a strike of, I'm not going to say lightning, or maybe I'll say a strike of enlightenment. Either way, it's yielded some good things, and thank you for that. And we all have a circle of influence. And when you have something powerful, the story of network marketing is you share it with people. You create conversations. If you come into this business by just purchasing product, just a little bit of product, and you have that same conversation, other people do the same thing that you do, whether they're a customer or a brand partner, what we call our business builders, you start this beeping process. So beep 2 times, and you actually have now broken even. If 2 people buy the same trial pack that you bought, to try the product, you make all your money back. So it's tilted toward helping people get over that hump that is typically or traditionally can be very difficult. We're not going to get into an exhaustive discussion on profit and compensation tonight. We're just going to give you a very high overview. We get paid 8 wonderful ways. We get paid weekly, we get paid monthly, we get paid quarterly as well. And it's exciting to see all this come into focus. But we have a 3-phase plan, 3 steps. That's it. The first one is beep. Get your beep out of the way. Become profitable, or get on the position to be profitable. So 1 business partner, 1 customer, two business partners, 2 customers, 1 of each. It's up to you. They all serve the same thing. They bring you to that point of break even. Number 2 is the fast start. This is a 60-day period where we amplify the earning potential so that we can help get you off the ground and into profit even faster. So that's very important to us, and I think you probably hold that in pretty high regard as well. The 3rd step is binary and other bonuses, and this allows us to take advantage of rank advancements and some of the money that's available in the direct selling industry, because you know what? We don't pay marketers, we don't pay advertisers, we don't pay for shelf space. We push this and pass this on to the people who are out telling the story and sharing something incredible with the people that they truly care about. So UN2 is a concept we want to kind of highlight a little bit, because that's something we're super proud of. The first thing I want you to acknowledge here is where the little box is, it says 40. What does that mean? That's a personal volume requirement, and that 40 basically means that we have really lowered the requirements for you to be qualified to earn income. And if you've been involved in the network marketing industry, you know those numbers can be sometimes paralyzing. And so brand new in your business, we want to give you that opportunity to come in, try the products, taste it, and then get fired up. And we're not going to put some big, heavy conditions on you to do that. The other one I want to highlight for you is the number 2. And it runs all the way down, or what you might say all the way up. So whatever position in the company, all the way up to the top position in the company, 2 personally enrolled individuals, not 4, not 6, not 12, not 20, 2 that are the right 2. And what I mean is they take on a business building approach, and you can go to the top of our compensation plan. So that's kind of an exciting piece to know. So your team's success is your success. What does that mean? That means that you get a generational match of 50% on your frontline personally enrolled brand partners. When they become successful, if they earn a check of $1,000 in the binary, guess what? We're going to send you a check for $500, because we want to reward you for helping that person become successful. It's an incentive for a couple of things. It's an incentive to help those people grow, and it's an incentive for you to continue to grow and bring new people into the company and share this incredible product. The matching bonuses go 7 generations, and you can see how that works. As you go higher in rank, you get paid deeper down in your tree. The idea of price is an important differentiator for us. I would consider it a new model. We don't see many companies doing it. We call it the price. We don't play the wholesale retail game. We don't price it high so we can give you a discount and say, hey, look at all the money you're saving. We just believe in a fair deal. 60 servings of our product is $115. Anywhere, anytime, to any one customer or brand partner. You can take advantage of the loyalty program and get a 5% discount. That just means that because you're on a monthly auto save, you get to save that 5%. And it just, you're not going to run out of product. You get to save a little bit. Everybody wins. It's a wonderful scenario. Our customer product choices, you saw the earlier options, whether you buy singly or whether they buy a variety pack. This is what a customer shopping experience looks like on the front side of our website. It's very simple. All the prices are displayed, the products are displayed, there's information there, and here's the cool part. If you send this out to people and they say, I want to shop in your store, you don't have to inventory it. The company's going to do all the fulfillment and ship it, and they're going to pay you 25% of the volume of each order as a brand partner. So it's a wonderful situation. If you see that, obviously if you're a brand partner, you've already done this process, but whether it's a customer who wants to upgrade or whether you have made the decision that you want to be a brand partner, these are the enrollment packages that you have to choose from. There's only several of them. So basically they're between $115 and $130. You get to choose which one you want. They range right around 60 servings or plus a little bit. And that's the whole entry to the business. There's no extra kit fees. There's no extra charges. There's no, monthly fees or things like that. You basically just select a package and you join us. So what's the difference between a customer and a brand partner? A customer buys the product for one price. The distributor buys the product for the same price. The difference is the brand partner said, I would like to be a referrer. I would like to share this with other people and get paid to do it. That's the only difference. The AutoSave options here, they're easy to select. You can get yourself on AutoSave, and you can also help your customers and your brand partners do the same. That creates the 5% discount. Okay. There are some opportunities to upgrade. We have the potential to, I'm not going to say upgrade, but I'll say continue to shop at a discount when you're doing some volume and you're buying volume. What we've done is we know that we have a product that people like to taste. They like to, maybe even you like to have send out samples, So we make it possible to get a little bit more of a discount if you want to do some sampling in your business. So we call these director packs, CEO packs, and an expo pack, and you can see the respective discounts if you decide you want to do that, okay? If you are a healthcare professional, you're in the healthcare arena, you're a medical doctor, you're a naturopath, you're a chiropractor, you have a professional designation, we have a health professional program that's super powerful that will allow you to put this product on your shelf, sell it at the point of sale, and put a nice profit into your business as a result. That's a separate program. We'll educate you more on that as you desire, but just to know that it's there. If you are a health professional or you know health professionals, we make it easy to carry this in the office without any big obligations or processes that increase the work on the physician. Ordering and management, it's all done online. It's very simple. We have a website that helps you navigate all of that goodness. So to summarize here, we are able to have a nice payout because we manufacture the product. We have someone like Mark who has spent a lifetime in this product line. We don't have any memberships. We just support the price. A great monthly lifestyle bonus. We have monthly and weekly pay as we discussed. 7 generations of matching bonuses. Top rank is really 2 enrolled directors away and a bunch of volume. Some very fair rank advancements, and it's a volume-based compensation plan. It really is designed for everybody to win. When you go to the website, it's going to say hosted by the name of the person that referred you at the very top, and then you'll see this screen. And I just want to clarify for people, if you're looking to be a customer, click this button and just shop as a customer and get to enjoy the product. That's all you need to do. If you want to go a little further than that and you want to be a part of the mission, then simply click the distributor enrollment. You're going to have the same options for the product, just a few different orientation of packages, but the price is the same, and you're in business. It's really that simple. So the time is now. This is our Shout from the Mountain campaign. And I'm excited that we've got to this point because it's been a secret up until now, but it's not a secret anymore. So if you ever wanted to be an early adopter, you wanted to have that advantage, this is the time. And we're excited that you're here, hearing this information first because the word is getting around, I got to tell you. So I'm going to ask you to use your imagination for a minute. If you could achieve some personal goals, some financial goals, find something that can help bring your body into homeostasis and live the life of your dreams, would you enjoy that? I know I would, and I do. So I want you to join me in this wonderful imagination. Timing is everything. The opportunity, it really has just gotten started. There is a wonderful opportunity for what I call serious beachfront property right now. We like to share the phrase, share the beat. Because if we can show people how they can create a little bit more of what they desire in life, then everybody gets to win. So I want to thank you for being on the call tonight. And, you know, it's really fun for me to get to share the information. I'm super passionate about it from the word go. And I think I shared earlier that when I met Mark, my comment to him was, you had me at detox, you had me at inflammation. And now I hope that that's been meaningful for you tonight. And you're going to have to find your own part of that equation. And we hope that you'll continue that conversation and get back in touch with the person who invited you to be here tonight to get this information.